All right, welcome back. We have another knife today. This one, I think, assuming it's what I think it is, relates back to the last video you may have seen. Oops, sorry. Try that again. So let's get this open real quick here. And it is a version of something that I'm already familiar with, but takes a different shape and that I'm very excited about. So, another tactile turn, but, ooh, check that out. Super cool. This is the DLC in bronze finish. Still Magna cut. And this is from American Edge. So I'm just gonna stick their info in there a little bit here. Okay, based out of Minnesota. And yeah, I think they're doing a really cool version here. So, wow, it even feels, the finish feels a little different. A little better traction, honestly, than the others. Action on this one feels superb. Ooh, I didn't notice in the pictures that the liner lock was in DLC also. That's super cool. Oof, perfect out of box. Perfect. Holy smokes. That is sweet. All right, let's get a quick little close-up here. So the one thing I'll say is the bronze coating right here on the very edge is sort of worn off, which is a little disappointing. So I may talk to them about that. So I'm going to bring out a few other models that you've probably seen in some of the other, if you've watched my series of, it's been probably more Rockwall than anyone's done before. I have one that I sent back. So if you saw the Knife Joy Dragon Scale one, had some deployment issues. Here's the Monkey Edge frag pattern. That one came out perfect right out of box. Let's go put these boxes over here. And then here's just the original. So I wish I had, I should have waited a day. Oh, actually I forgot about the golf ball one too here. Wish I'd waited a day. The golf ball one's been a little tougher also, kind of like the, might take a look real quick. Yeah, that one's not bad. But yeah, the Knife Joy was super cool. Paid for the shipping back, which is, to me, like all the difference. If they're willing to pay for the shipping back, if they're like, hey, you got a problem, you pay for the shipping. That kind of bugs me, to be honest. I understand it. Some people don't abuse, the websites and the retailers. From that perspective, I understand it. But when there's a clear mechanical issue, if you want to call it that, is the right term, mechanical issue? When there's a clear issue that's just a factory error in how it was made, that kind of bugs me if someone won't just pay the shipping back on that, because it's that was not my fault. I'm literally the one that found the QA issue and is reporting it back to me. One thing I'm noticing here is the edge on it looks very different. So I don't know if I'm just seeing things, but it looks quite different on the edge than this one. It looks like these two have a very similar edge. where there's very minimal, yeah, I don't know, maybe it's just the lighting. Maybe it's just the lighting. So effectively a very similar design to this one. You have the same, you know, very fine-grained titanium finish here. I'll get this zoomed in correctly for you. So it's effectively the same, but with the bronze finish and the DLC coating, which certainly is impactful. I'm really disappointed they didn't do that in the pocket clip in DLC. I don't know how that happened, how someone decided that that didn't make sense to do that in DLC also. I'm at a loss as to how that happened. If that was in black too, I think this thing would be finalized. So what I may look to do is like get a heat treat on that. I think that would kind of make this knife pop. But first I gotta talk to them about that finish. That's pretty disappointing out of box. What I have to say though is, boy, this thing is smooth out of box. Like by far the easiest to deploy of any of the ones that I've gotten so far. Now I'm wondering if it's like even got, let me pull this off camera for a sec. Yeah, interesting. It is maybe just a touch, like 5 or 10% off center. So it may be that it's not pushing into the liner lock as tightly as they normally do. But a lot of these, like, as you could see how easy that was for me to wheel out, like this one's very poppy on the detent to get out. Like you can see how that popped out. Like you're really putting some pressure on it to pop it out of there. So I'll miss on that one pretty often. This one's pretty soft, I find. This one's very easy. Kind of like this Bronze DLC example. Pretty consistent deployment there. This one's just like a never miss. You can just feel, as soon as I got out of the box, I could tell. Of course, then I just missed 3 times in a row, 4 times, 5 times. The thumb side, at least, I would have thought the finger flick would have been really good. I've actually found these sometimes much easier to finger flick, but having a little trouble getting to this one. It's almost like this thumb stud on that side is smaller. Am I seeing things? I'm not. Are they all like that? Hang on. Super weird. Okay. The thumb stud on this one is smaller than the on the finger side than on the thumb side. So I gotta talk to them about that too. That is very weird also. At least if I'm seeing that right, yeah, it's totally a different size. Let's see if I can rezoom this here. Whereas on this one, it's clearly the same size. On this one, it's pretty clearly smaller. So that's really weird. So I'm like, why am I missing all these finger flicks? Because on most of them, I find it actually easier to finger flick this knife than to thumb flick it. Because just, I don't know, just if there's a criticism I have for this knife, there are a few, but like it's that I need just a little more room in there to like get in and like get a purchase on the thumb stud. So let's see this one by comparison. Now I'm really curious here. What's going on? And I'm gonna measure this off screen and stuff, but I am pretty sure I'm not seeing things that is a smaller thumb stud on one side than on the other, which I could not explain. And you know, the benefit of having that thumb stud on both sides be the same is a really easy deployment. Like, just find that, like, you can really feel it there, whereas on this one, it's very hard to get a purchase on it. So that's weird. Well, you never know what you're gonna get, and that's, I guess, part of the fun thing of watching someone else buy it first. So I'll talk with American Edge on that and just see what they have to say. That's funny. I really felt like the first 3 I got here, the QA was extremely good, and then the last 2 I've had some very small, and I'll call them minor issues, like the detent on the knife joy scale, dragon scale was just like almost undeployable, at least for me. It's such a difference. Like I can't tell you what the difference is in like the detent pressure. Like I could not, and that's about 50% effort at most. It's probably 30-40% effort with 80-90% effort, to the point where I felt like I was going to end up with my thumb in the deployment path. I could not deploy the one from Knife Joy. Just and it's not on Knife Joy, obviously. I don't think that they do any of that manufacturing. It's all contracted back through Tactile, and I'm quite confident that Tactile is going to make it right. One thing I'm also noticing is, and I don't think I noticed it before, Tactile looks a little different on this. So it looks like it's got the DLC in the actual blade, which is cool. I wonder if the MagnaCut does too. I think the MagnaCut's the same, but the Tactile looks different, so that's cool. Yeah, really cool knife. I'm gonna figure out what's going on with the, I mean, you can just tell right there, right? That's maybe an even better angle. That's pretty clearly like smaller on one side than on the other. That is just weird. They have such good machining practices at Tactile based on the, what they've shared publicly about how they do their machining. So I wonder if somehow there's just a process error or something like that. I mean, this knife has like 2 weird things going on, right? It has the fade on the bronze, and then the finger stud or thumb stud on the non-show side is just smaller. It's like 25% smaller, if I'm seeing that right. I'll do some measurements, but like notably smaller. So aside from that, super cool version. And for those of you who watched the last video, a big part of the inspiration here for me is this is my grandfather's old lighter. And this particular model just has a very similar feel to it. So that's got me very interested just generally in these knives. Among other things, the fact that they like use MagnaCut on their like first wide production knife. Obviously, if you know them, they did, I cannot get to it. They did XHP on the flipper, and then I think they may have done 20 CV on the flipper, and then I think they did 20 CV on the Thumbstud version as well for a second. I'm not sure if that was just on the flipper or what the history was there. I'd have to double check. But yeah, another cool example from these guys. Very much appreciate this line of knives. They're flawed, but they are, to me, really cool fit and finish. And yeah, there's a place for me on these. So I really like them, and I'm glad to have this one. I'll be figuring out what's going on with it exactly offline, but overall really pleased with it. I think the look is super cool, and for someone that's not into the more uniform tie, I think this is a really cool option here. So definitely worth a look if you are resonating with what you're seeing here. I think it's pretty neat. So yeah, appreciate American Edge. They've sent a really nice note with it too, handwritten, which I think is cool. And I'll chat with them, and I'm sure like Knife Joy, they're gonna do right by me on it. So feel free to check it out on the American Edge website. I'll try and link that in the description of the video. Just one more reminder, the original titanium, the DLC bronze from American Edge, the Monkey Edge frag, and then just the limited edition golf ball titanium, which you can get from pretty much anyone that's selling this one for the most part is selling that quote limited edition. I don't know if they're how limited they are. I know that they are showing sold out on the Tactile website, but many other websites have those in stock, and I think they're fairly readily available. If not, tons of people are selling them on the used market. So check out Blade Forums or the Tactile group on Facebook, and you can easily find those secondhand as well. So thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you, and we will see you on the next one. Take care.